Good afternoon, Afro friends and family. Welcome to another edition of Afro News at Noonish. We have our entire editorial team here and our new addition, our new assistant editor, Miss Ashley Fields, is joining us today. All right, let's just get right into it because it was a weekend full of exciting events. We had the Afro High Tea, we had Gervonta Tank Davis with a knockout win. Just tell us what was your experience at the tea? And Aria, we'll go to you first because you came from out of town to actually enjoy this year's event.
I did. So the tea was an occasion to be at. If you missed it, then you definitely missed out. From the decor to the hats to the event in its entirety, we had four honorees who all gave some amazing speeches, just talking about what the honors meant to them, as well as some of the work that they're doing in the community. All of them are working within the political realm in Baltimore's area, so you're definitely feeling, and if not, for sure, seeing the contribution that they're making to the community. So, like I said, it was quite the affair. We had some big hats, some lacy gloves, some beautiful shoes, some jewelry. Women from all over the city came out. We had a 99-year-old woman there, Miss Agnes T. Ray. I got the opportunity to speak with her, and she was just the sweetest thing ever. So like I said, it was definitely a lovely afternoon. Although the weather was kind of rainy inside, we were having a great time. It was definitely a springtime event to be at.
Thank you for that wrap up, Aria. So I had a chance to speak with Miss Agnes Ray myself, and she was a joy to be around. I'm so glad that she came to the Afro Tea this year. We also had a table from Florida. There were people all over the state of Maryland and beyond. So a big shout out to everyone who actually made it to the tea. We also want to thank our four honorees. We had Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller there. We had Maryland's first woman comptroller, Brooke Learman, as well as the first woman to lead Maryland's House of Delegates, Speaker Adrienne A. Jones was in attendance to get her award. And then we also had Maryland's First Lady, the first woman of color to hold that title, Miss Dawn Moore was in attendance. And so congrats to all of our honorees. Thank you for what you do in the community, not just here in Baltimore and in the state of Maryland, but beyond. We also want to send our condolences out to Afro board member, Miss Rachel Humphreys. We hope that you are doing well and we hope that you make a safe return home. All right, let's go to Miss Tashi McQueen. What do you have for us?
So over the weekend and a little bit of last week, I was able to cover the State of the Black World conference over at the Baltimore Convention Center. So it was held from April 19th to 23rd, and it was their fifth State of the Black conference, and actually the first gathering of the Institute of the Black World was held in Baltimore, and it spurred up from that. So it was like a return to home in a way. So that was great to be a part of. And it was under the theme, Global Africans Rising, Empowerment, Reparations, and Healing. So there was definitely plenty of talk about reparations and how we can heal the Black community, come together through public safety issues, the gun violence epidemic. So many great discussions, also including the overcoming systemic housing displacement. As well, they were bringing attention through Senator Jill P. Carter was able to join. She was one of the only Baltimore city legislators to attend, but she attended the town hall alongside Reverend Kobe Little and some other notables in Baltimore City. And she highlighted that we need to hold Black legislators accountable. It's not enough to just have Black people in the seat, but that they actually are involved in the community, are actually asking the tough questions, they're actually pushing the initiatives. So that was an interesting part of the discussion as well. And there was also an overall just unity among the Pan-African community, Pan-African meaning like all people of African ancestry coming together. So that was also an amazing part of the event. And yes, and we have plenty of coverage of it online and on our social media. So please check it out.
Yes, check it out. You can go back on youtube.com and look at the town halls that were taking place by going to the Institute of the Black World's YouTube page. You can check it out on their Facebook. They were live streaming some of those town halls. Please just make sure that you all are getting in contact with your legislators. One thing that they stressed at the State of the Black World Conference this year is that we need to be in contact with our legislators to get them to declare gun violence in the Black community as a actual health crisis, so that that can then trigger funding that comes down through public health. And so we know in the Black community, especially just here in Baltimore, we've been getting slammed with a lot of youth violence. I mean, this is nothing new here in America, but I really appreciated the panel that came together on Friday talking about just the epidemic of gun violence, specifically in the Black community, and what we can do to actually turn this around. Besides thoughts and prayers, besides leaving these memorials all over the city, we need to declare this as a public health crisis, especially in these cities like Chicago, Baltimore, where youth are being gunned down in the streets. I mean, there are just so many names. Deontay Dorsey comes to mind, the young man who was killed in Patterson. I'm from Patterson. It's so many things happening. The 12-year-old shot in Westport Homes over a week ago. It's just so many deaths, and I think it's easy to just say, oh, that's just a name printed in the paper. It's an obituary, their face on a t-shirt. But walking through Westport Homes last Monday with We Are Us, the community organization led by men from Baltimore City, we're walking with them through Westport Homes, and you see the 12-year-olds' friends coming out of their homes just in tears. It hits home that this is more than just a name. It's more than just saying homicide number 77. Each one of these deaths, no matter the age, really impacts the community, impacts those families. It sends shockwaves through the community. And so I appreciate Dr. Ron Daniels holding this in Baltimore, but specifically having that panel to push for gun violence to be a public health emergency that deserves funding and support, and to be expanded as much as possible to help as many people as possible. All right, that's my soapbox. I know it's not chicken box. That's Thursdays at noon. But let's go to Ashley. Ashley, how was your weekend? Tell us how you enjoyed the tea.
I really, really enjoyed the tea. It was my first time meeting a lot of team members from the AFRO in person. And so I was thankful to do that. And I was thankful to meet with a lot of legislators from Maryland who were able to speak to me about a lot of upcoming events that I'm excited to attend. Going back to gun violence, I just wanted to mention some of Mayor Bowser's efforts to combat that in DC, especially with the youth community. She mentioned submitting $3 million in grants to different programs through the Department of Recreation, 10,000 to engagement, 10,000 to enrichment, 10,000 to programming, and 10,000 to travel. And so she's really working hard to make sure that youth have other activities. Speaking of that, we recently just posted about some spring break activities that I hope some teens engaged in, and 22 recreational centers across the district are going to be expanding their hours. So that's definitely something that I'm hopeful to see people taking advantage of. In addition to that, there'll be some fairs to help people who are looking to change their life path and turn their record around. There's an expungement fair for the city of Glen Arden on May 6th. That's coming up from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at James R. Cousins Jr. Municipal Center, and that's going to be hosted by Councilmember James Herring from Ward 1 and Councilmember Maurice Harrison from Ward 2. And so there'll be multiple resources, free giveaways, employment services, and other things like that. Specifically speaking to education, we also had rapper Lil Durk donate $350,000 to Howard University students, and through a grant from Chicago nonprofit organizations. So it's been a packed 2 weeks at the AFRO, but it's definitely been exciting, and I'm glad to be joining the AFRO News at Noon team to learn more about what's going on across Maryland and DC.
All right, I don't think I have to tell y'all, but our assistant editor is on it. She hit the ground running. Thank you so much, Ashley. We were excited to see you at the tea. It was great seeing you there with your hat and your dress and your heels. So it was, I'm glad that you got that opportunity. And thank you so much for that update. Please take advantage of those resources, especially the expungement piece and the career fairs. Um, Take a chance, get out there. If you need help with your resume, reach out, ask somebody. There are so many different resources through the mayor's office in DC to help people with job development, finding a job, getting yourselves together to get back into the workforce. So thank you. All right, thank you for that. We're going to throw it to Megan. Megan, what is going on in the business world?
Thank you. So, here in Baltimore, we're fortunate enough to have access to a Black-owned bank in the form of Harbor Bank of Maryland, which is headquartered in the city and has locations throughout the surrounding areas. But there's still a number of states across the country that have never had a Black-owned bank. And one of those states is Iowa. Rashonda Young, who is an entrepreneur, is on a mission right now to open Iowa's first Black-owned bank in the city of Waterloo. She decided to kind of take on this venture after discovering that Waterloo was rated as one of the worst cities in America for African Americans in terms of financial security. The African American community there is underbanked. They don't have enough access to financial education and things like that. So she is now on a mission to open this bank during this year in 2023. She's still set to open it. And you can kind of learn more about her story on afro.com if you go check it out. It's really interesting just to hear about the work that she's done in the community to inform African Americans there about the bank that's about to be open, as well as running an accelerator for small business owners there and entrepreneurs so that they can start building generational wealth for their communities. And then the second piece of news that I just wanted to highlight is the AFRO is going to be holding its third annual Black Business Matters Expo this Thursday, April 27th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. You're actually going to see some people on this call during the expo. And this year's theme is Closing the Divide, Work, Wages, and Wealth. The expo is going to feature speakers, including Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott, First Lady Dawn Moore, who was just at our tea, as well as Maryland Comptroller Brooke Learman, who was also at the tea. There's going to be an array of business owners, as well as wealth consultants. And there's actually two tracks for this expo. So if you're an emerging entrepreneur, there's something for you, as well as if you're an established business owner and you just want to learn about some more best practices or how to improve your cash flow, things like that. And it is a virtual expo, so you can attend from the comfort of your couch. You don't have to leave your house. You can register for this free expo on afro.tix.live. So if you just put that into your browser and Google it, you can register. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, maybe you want to learn a little more about home ownership, maybe you want to learn about wealth management, maybe you're trying to prepare for retirement. And we'll have something for you at the expo that can help you out with that.
Thank you so much for that, Megan. I hope that everybody is running to afrotix.live right now to make sure that you are registered and you are in your seats or your pajamas on Thursday, ready to learn. So one more time, that address is AFROTix, AFROTIX.LIVE, AFROTix.live. And you can go there and keep up to date on all of the upcoming Afro events. You can also list your own event here and sell tickets. In case you don't want to go to an outside platform, you can come to afrotix.live and advertise there. All right. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. It was a very, very busy weekend. Again, congrats to boxer Gervonta Tank Davis for bringing in a W for the city of Baltimore. Whole city went up when he got that knockout win. So it was very, very nice to just see Baltimoreans with a smile on their face celebrating something, even if it was boxing, which I don't know how y'all feel about it. It's a little violent for me, but it is interesting, and it's a joy to see the city just proud of a hometown hero. So thank you, Mr. Davis, for bringing home that win. All right. If you want to get in contact with anyone on the editorial team at the Afro, you can send an email to editor@afro.com. You can also email us individually. You can reach me at ataylor@afro.com. If you have any questions or concerns, send us some letters. Send us a letter to the editor. Let us know some things that are on your mind. We are always accepting commentary. Let us know, what do you think about gun violence being declared a public health crisis? What do you think of the state of the Black world? What do you think of business, Black business? Let us know your thoughts. We are on afro.com, but we're also on social media. Check us out on Facebook, IG, Twitter, TikTok, all the different platforms where you get your news.